Hello and welcome to another episode of Creatures of the Realm. For those of you chiming in, what is Creatures of the Realm? On Fridays just before the campaign, on Saturday, I stream about creatures from the Dungeons and Dragons, creature book, monster manual. I go over any creature, random creature, any creature that you guys want me to do, or I just pick anywhere in the monster manual and I go over them. And I talk to you guys about them, what's good about the creature, what's bad about the creature, and so forth. Well, last couple weeks ago, we did the Vampire the Masquerade. So we went over all the stuff in this book. You know, not everything, but some things. So clans, different type of creatures, and so forth. And what makes it interesting. But before we actually begin tonight, I want to say a big thank you to Tim Matthews. Tim Matthews, you're awesome. Thanks for the sub on Patreon and, of course, here on YouTube and other places you can watch me in my platform, which is Rumble, Kick, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. You can watch me there, all over the place. We have a great time streaming. Well, tonight, what are we doing tonight? Tonight we're doing the Night Stalker. The Night Walker, not Stalker. That's weird. But we're going to go over the Night Walker. Now, what is a Night Walker? Now, I can be doing creature, and if you guys want me to switch it up, I'll go ahead and do that. Tonight is open forum. Open forum pretty much means we can talk about anything you want. Not only creatures, any gaming product and so forth we want to talk about, we can go ahead and do that. Just because it's fun to do stuff like that. What's up? What's up, Tim? Thanks for watching. I appreciate it on YouTube. Like I said, any creature you want me to go over, we can go ahead and talk about it. But without further ado, before anybody chimes in, let me see. Yeah, we got people on Rumble. What's up, Rumble? Got people, of course, on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? And so on. We're going to talk about the Night Walker. What is a Night Walker? What does it do for Dungeons and Dragons? Night Walker lives in a negative plane. It's one of those creatures that go bump in the night. It's when you were a kid and imagine, your covers over your head because you see something in the darkness. Shadow figure. What do? You peek, you see something, you could have sworn that you would be in your bedroom. And it's this creature. Elongated, protruding horns, and it's a shadowy creature. Very, very devious looking. In the picture, it's over 10 feet tall, maybe 20. It could change shape and do very dangerous things. But before we get into what it actually does, we're going to talk about you. What's so important about your subscribers? My subscribers. Everyone here is a family, the community. We love role-playing. We love what we do. We love to talk about character creation, creatures, and tomorrow, vampires. It's a big community, a wonderful community, and I love you all. Let's continue with the Night Walker. Well, the Night Walker, as I was saying, the Night Walker lives in the negative plane. It's a place of death where everything is negative energy. It's evil. Undead creatures live that. It devours all life they encounter. So imagine this thing again. You're a little kid. You're in the bedroom. You have your covers over your head because you see this shadowy figure coming out. Imagine this thing. It's incredibly scary. What does it do? A Night Walker on the material plane is attracted to elements of the world associated with the creature responsible for its creation, which can provide clues as to who the trapped creature is. This attraction doesn't indicate a willingness to engage with the world, though. Nightwalkers exist to make life extinct. They prioritize anything associated with trapped creature or destruction. And they're typically huge undead and typically chaotic evil. That's massive. These terrifying undead creatures are massive. They have generally 14 armor class and 337 hit points. For those of you who love the numbers of creatures, and that's what I'm going to go over. Their strength is 22, massive +6 modifier, dexterity 19, +4 modifier, constitution 24, +7 modifier, intelligence, wisdom, charisma, they're a negative, not so much, but your strength, dexterity, constitution makes it a force to be reckoned with. It has a challenge rate of 20, so you're looking at high-level characters going up against this creature. 25,000 XP. Wow, massive. It has a proficiency bonus of +6. It has dark vision over 120 feet, passive perception of 9. Again, not very perceptive, but it has this dark vision of 120 feet. Damage resistance: acid, cold, fire, lightning, thunder, bludgeoning. What is bludgeoning? You know, a mace, bat, stuff like that. Stuff that's not sharp. Piercing and slashing from non-magical attacks. And damage resistance, for those of you who love playing Dungeons & Dragons, like I do, resistance is usually half damage. And that's what it does. So if you do some form of lightning, it's going to do half damage. Damage immunities. What is damage immunity in the D&D talk? That is, you can't do necrotic or poison. It'll absorb it. It does no damage. And you can hear my dog in the background. I love my dog. Thank you, Nelly. Condition immunities: exhaustion, frightened, grapple, paralyzation, petrified, poison, prone, and restrained. That is cool stuff, guys. Let's see here. Let me continue on. What makes this creature so dangerous is annihilating aura. Any creature that starts its turn within 30 feet of the Nightwalker must succeed a DC of 21 Constitution for a saving throw or take 2166 necrotic damage. And if you are a hero, a villain, whatever you are, and you see this thing, you're going to take some massive damage. Undead are immune to this aura. Life Eater. Creature dies if reduced to 0 hit points by the Nightwalker and cannot be revived except by a wish spell. And if you are a certain level, you're not going to have that spell. Unusual nature. The Nightwalker doesn't require air, food, drink, or sleep, of course. What does it do for damage? So you have this massive creature with protruding horns. It's in the shadows. It's already threatening. It's already dangerous. What do? Now, forget about being in the bedroom. You're a little kid and you see this thing coming out to you. Imagine you're in the forest. You have a group of adventurers, heroes, and they see this massive creature. You're going to be frightened. There's a chance of you dying. So what are you going to do? How are you going to fight it? We're going to get to that. But first, let's take a look at what type of damage it does to you. Damage, it has a plus 12 to attack. It has these elongated arms and claws. But it does a plus 12 to attack. Its reach is 15 feet. And its target is 5d8 plus 6 necrotic damage. It has this ability called Invigorating Focus, and that's a melee weapon attack. Target must succeed on a DC 21 Constitution save. And for those of you who don't know what Constitution is basically your health, stuff like that. You gotta succeed a saving throw of 21, and must succeed on a 21 Constitution save, or its hit point maximum is reduced by an amount equal to the necrotic damage taken. Wow. This reduction lasts until the target finishes a long rest. The target dies if its hit point maximum is reduced to 0. Imagine that. And it has this awesome ability called finger pointing. So this thing is threatening enough that it finger points at you. And do that, it's a form of intimidation so vast, so powerful, that it can just really change up things. And Finger of Doom. And it recharges 6 times. The Nightwalker points at one creature it sees within 300 feet. The target must succeed on a 21 Wisdom saving throw or take 39 60-12 necrotic damage and become frightened until the end of the Nightwalker's next turn. While frightened in this way, the creature is also paralyzed. If a target saving throw is successful, the target is immune to the Nightwalker's Finger of Doom for the next 24 hours. So, you gotta make the save. If you don't make it, you're pretty much screwed. It has multi-attack. It has 2 attacks, which is that what is it? Invigorating Focus, and then the Finger of Doom. And that is pretty much it for this creature. Now, what is so devastating about this creature? Why does it deserve to have this much power? Hell yes. Especially, it looks freaking cool. It looks really cool. Not only is it massive, imagine a party of 5. No, a party of 6. You have a paladin, a cleric, a fighter, you have a ranger, you have a thief or a rogue, excuse me. So you have another fighter. So you have a combat ready party. And even if you have that party, these characters, these ready to go, ready to combat characters, players are ready to go, they're going to have issues. How and why? Let me tell you why. They are going to encounter this annihilating aura. Any creature that starts its turn within 30 feet of the Nightwalker must succeed a DC 21 Constitution saving throw or take 66 necrotic damage. It's undead. Paladin can say, oh, turn undead, and all that stuff. But you still got to make that save. You still got to make the save. If you don't make the save, and that's just 1. The next ability it has, it's that focus. Another 21 Constitution save. And on top of that, the finger of doom, and it has 6 recharge. The Nightwalker points at a creature and it's within 300 feet. So this thing is massive, and he has protruding horns, and he starts walking over to you, and the heroes are going to have issues with it. They're going to say, oh, wait, oh, this creature. But not only that, there are other creatures around. What do I mean by that? Not just this big bad. There are other creatures in the area. So what are they going to do? Are they going to fight the big bad? Are they going to focus on that? Or are they going to focus on the multitude of zombies in the area? They happen to be in a swamp. Or maybe a forest. Let's say it's a beautiful forest. And the 6 adventurers are out. And they encounter this Nightwalker. And then they all look at each other and they're like, yeah, we can take it. The ranger, the rogue, the fighter, the paladin. They're courageous, they're heroes. They have their hands at the hilt of their weapon. And they're ready to go. They draw their weapons. And then something happens. They start hearing in the distance a cracking of bone, and zombies come out of the ground. A hand, an arm, decayed flesh, multitude of zombies, not just 1, 10, 11. But this creature is over 10 feet tall. You're at the wrong place, at the wrong time. So what do? They're heroes. They'll fight it, right? Are they going to stay and fight? Or are they going to run? The creature, like I said before, has the finger of doom within 300 feet. If one of the party members fails, they're paralyzed, they're frightened. And let's say the ranger fails. Tim says, does this creature act independently or does it follow someone else's commands? Awesome question. This creature can be independent and it also can follow someone else's commands. So it can be kind of both. It all depends on a scenario. It all depends on, let's say there's a night hag. A night hag is a very devious witch. So she's in the distance using this creature. She can see through a crystal ball, and with her abilities, this creature is summoned. And the zombies. Maybe she has something that the creatures or the heroes did to her in the past. She doesn't forget what the heroes did to her. She wants revenge, so she summons this Nightwalker. Now let's take a look. Good question, Tim. Let's take a look at this. The creature that enters a plane, a Nightwalker is released to take its place. In order for a trapped creature to escape, the released Nightwalker must be lured back to the negative plane by offering of life for it to devour. You know what this reminds me of? You know what the night creature, Tim, and you'll probably agree, the Nightwalker reminds me of Pumpkinhead. Remember Pumpkinhead? Oh, that's a great movie, by the way. And remember that? Guys, let me know what you guys think. This thing has to kill, has to take something. So it comes from the negative plane, from the Shadowfell, it comes down, is summoned by the Night Hag, and boom, it must kill these heroes. Are these heroes going to take out these creatures? This creature? They might. You have a paladin. You have a mixture. Ah, there you go. Of course. Yes, yes. Imagine this. Yeah, great example. Yeah, the the if you remember the movie Pumpkinhead, there was this creature was summoned. It's out of revenge. So you have this creature that's summoned by this individual. Could it be a hag? Could it be maybe a disgruntled farmer? Maybe does it want these heroes on his area and his property? Maybe the farm is away from the forest. Maybe this farmer saw these adventurers and said, you know what? I don't want them in my location. Maybe he stumbled upon some form of magic, an unknown entity sucking his soul. So you have this Nightwalker. But let's take a look at other creatures. Now, this is open forum. We don't have to just talk about the Nightwalker. Let's talk about something else. Let's continue on here. I'm not going to even pronounce. Some of these monsters are really crazy. In the monster manual, they're really, really, really crazy. And if you want to look, I know I did the Leviathan. Let's take a look at what else can we do here. Let's take a look at the Bone Claw. What's the Bone Claw? Now here, another chaotic evil creature. And a Bone Claw is pretty devastating. I don't have a picture for you right now, but I will tell you. I'll describe a Bone Claw. Kind of bone, a skeleton, elongated arms, elongated fingers. His torso, you can see flesh, and then bone, and then he has robes, and his head is a skeleton, no flesh on the head. Just the actual skeleton, the head itself, and its mouth is open. You can see the rack of teeth. You can see its feet. So it looks kind of disgusting, but it has some shredded clothes on it. What is a Bone Claw? What is exactly? A wizard who tries to become a lich, but fails, might become a Bone Claw instead. So basically, it could be a human trying to be a lich. These hideous, cackling monsters share a few of lich's attributes, but while liches are immortal masters of the arcane, Bone Claws are thralls to evil, hatred, and pain. So, the Bone Claw, if you remember, guys, before we get into that, imagine this one guy, a human, let's say, not just a creature, human that wants to be a lich, and does this ritual to become a lich. And what is a lich? Everybody knows what a lich. We know Vecna from Stranger Things, right? Or D&D, we know Vecna, he is. So that's a lich, or it is an individual that controls the undead. Masterful, master of spells. So this individual, this human, tries to become a lich. What happens is the ritual fails. He becomes the Bone Claw. So instead, the human body, the flesh is torn, and you can see the skeleton in its place. Its arms elongate, his fingers, flesh is gone, except you can see the phalanges, and they extend. It is disgusting looking, so your human quality is gone. And the only thing that you see that represents itself is a skeletal form the most important part of the transformation ritual occurs when the soul of the aspiring lich migrates to the prepared. I'm not going to announce this. If the wizard is too physically or magically weak to compel the soul into the new home, the soul instead seeks out a master, a person within a few miles who has hate-filled heart. Who has a hate-filled heart. The soul bonds to that person and becomes the enslaved to its new master's wishes. The bone claw forms near its master, sometimes appearing before that individual to receive orders, and other times simply seeking to fulfill its master's desires. A bone claw can only serve an evil creature. If the masters find redemption or sincerely turns away from the path of evil, the bone claw is destroyed. No matter what happens to the bone claw's body, it reforms within hours. So there you go. That's the bone claw. Now, it is challenge rated 12, 8,400 XP. The higher the challenge rating, guys, that's D&D talk, the more powerful, the more proficient this creature is. The lower, the weaker the creature. We're not going to get into 100% into what challenge rating is, but I'm just giving you an example. So, you look at the stats for Bone Claw. Strength to Charisma. The highest stat is a 19, which is Strength, plus 4, Dexterity, 16, a plus 3, Constitution, 15, a plus 2. It's the best 3 stats, just like the Nightwalker. But has armor class of 16 and 150 hit points. It's deadly, it's fast. Is it fast? Let me see. Okay, let me see here. Yes, it is. Dark vision, 60 feet. Dexterity is plus 3, 16. There you go. Let's see. It has a bonus action. Massive abilities. It does a shadow jump. The Bone Claw, basically, in a dim light or darkness, each creature of the Bone Claw's choice within 15 feet of its must succeed a DC 14 Constitution save, or take 34 5d12 plus 2 necrotic damage. So it does shadow jumps. It jumps in shadows, which that's pretty cool. The Bone Claw can teleport up to 60 feet to the unoccupied space. Deadly. And if there's dim light or darkness, it jumps. It shadow jumps. That's really cool. But it's deadly. And it has a reaction. So imagine you doing something that has this reaction. Deadly reach. Remember I said the elongated arms? 15 feet. Wow. It does a piercing attack. Its attack is 3d10 plus 4. And piercing damage. 11, 2d10 necrotic damage. Really cool. Really cool creature. Let me see, I got a notice here. Streaming is good. Yeah, streaming is good. Streaming is good. If you all have any other questions, any other creatures you want me to do, let me go ahead and do another one. That is the Bone Claw. So, the Nightwalker, cool creature, the Bone Claw, awesome creature. You want to have those in your party. They can really mix things up in a big bad situation, in your end of the campaign or close to the end of a campaign scenario. Those two are very, very powerful enough to have a good end to the campaign or one-shot story, um, creature, which is great. Okay, this guy's cool. The Boggle. The Boggle is a small thing. It's a chaotic, neutral creature. This one's going to be funny. All right, before we get into the Boggle, let's take a look what it does. All right, Boggle. Boggles are little. They're little like boogeymans, a fairy tale. They lurk in fringes in the Feywild, and are also found in the material plane, where they hide under beds and closets. Oh yeah. So remember, little kid has their sheets over their head or the blankets because they're scared. Is that little shadow in the darkness? That's the boogeyman. That's the Boggle. That's what they do. They're born out of feeling of loneliness. They materialize when a sapient being feels isolated or abandoned near a place where the Feywild touches the world. So let's say there's a Feywild, happens to be close to a home. And this Boggle can sense depression, sense loneliness, and here it comes. Something to drink, sorry about that. So it comes out. For example, a forsaken child might unintentionally conjure a Boggle and see that sort of an imagery friend. A Boggle might also appear in the attic. Hermit's cave. Boggles engage in petty pranks to amuse themselves. Using oil they excrete to cause trouble. A Boggle also isn't above breaking dishes, hiding tools, milk. They decrease their milk. What? Startling cows to decrease their milk, or hiding a baby in the attic. So they do. They cause mayhem. They remind me of, remember the Gremlin movie? That's a Boggle. That's what they do. Boggle can create magical openings to travel short distances to their world and the material plane. They create rifts in space. A Boggle must be adjacent to the space defined by a frame, such as an open window or a doorway, a gap between the bars of the cage, or the opening between the feet of the bed and floor. So that's cool. So underneath the bed, that opening, closet, the attic, that is awesome. There's another movie when I was a kid I watched where Pan's Labyrinth. Remember that one? Yeah. That's awesome. Underneath the bed, wall, that type of thing. A doorway from the Feywild space, and then the Feywild, and then to the material plane. What they look like. They look like a little goblin, elongated ears, massive nose. It can be tiny. It can be your description. Very short, very big hands. They can be purple, black, white, green, however you want them to look. But Boggles create a puddle of oil. It look like they're defecating themselves, or peeing themselves, whatever. It's oil. The puddle is 1 inch deep and covers the ground in the Boggle space. Kind of a cool character. Cool creature. Hello everyone, if you're chiming in, we're going over Dungeon Masters, not the Dungeon Masters, like a book, but we're going over the Monster Manual. And the Monster Manual went over the Night Walker, and now we're going over the Boggle. Boggle's a cool creature, and I was just saying the Boggle has this oil puddle, and imagine, a setting of this little kid, and all of a sudden, the little kid looks underneath its bed, and there's a light. Here comes this Boggle with this oil puddle, which is an inch deep. It covers the ground. It's wild, but that's what it does. It's slippery oil. So this kid tries to get away. It's a little boy or a little girl, and they fall on the ground. Now, they are chaotic neutral because they love to do pranks. Cobalt, friendly yet mischievous German house spirit, performs hidden chores around the house and farm in exchange for small food offering like honey. Yes. Kobolds are awesome. You want me to do a kobold? Yeah. That's really cool. Alright, let's take a look. Alright, we're going to change up. We're going to do the kobold. Because Tim Matthews wants to do Cobalt, and we're going to go ahead and check out Cobalt. I really like the Boggle. The Boggle is really cool. All right, so there is a lot of Cobalts. So, but we're going to go into the Cobalt. Cobalts, they are usually, when you see a Cobalt, you're going to see a dragon. What they look like little lizard, reptilian, elongated. They have tails. They're about 4 feet tall, maybe a little bit taller. They're small dragons. But if you're going to see kobolds, you most likely are going to see a dragon. And there's a crap load of kobolds. Oh, okay, you're saying it's similar to that creature, the kobold. Yeah, it is similar to. I agree. So down the rabbit hole, Rumble said Pan's Labyrinth with that root-looking thing she shoved under her bed. Yeah, Pan's Labyrinth is a great film. If you love fantasy, if you love that kind of stuff, check it out. It's awesome. Anyways, yes, if you look underneath the bed, you're going to see that a Boggle. Yeah, it is similar to that creature, the Cobalt. Tim, I agree. Well, you want me to go over Cobalts? No, let's continue with the Boggle because it's a cool creature. You want me to go with that? All right. Let's go back to the Boggle really quick. But it is similar to Cobalt, yes. I cannot believe that they even have this creature. So, look, guys, why would you want to have this creature, the Boggle, in your campaign? Why would you want to do that? It's a little creature from the Feywild coming into the material plane and causing havoc. Similar to the Cobalt, similar to Gremlins, because they're mischievous. What do you mean, no? Tim, what? It's similar to the last creature. Oh, you want me to keep going, Boggle? Okay, gotcha. All right, we're going to keep going with the Boggle. It's similar to... I lost my train of thought. It's similar to these creatures I mentioned. Now, you're going to say, no. In the monster manual, the kobolds, they're little dragons, and they do this. Look, folks, this is your world when you're behind the screen. You create the story, you create the background, you create the NPCs. Even if you pull it out of the book, you could change it. And that's amazing about fantasy because these things don't exist. And they only exist in your mind, in your hearts, and you are describing it to your party. People around that table. And they can be anything that you project. Because just like that little kid sleeping in its bed, little boy, little girl is going to hear that bottle underneath the bed and coming out with the pool oil. And it's going to throw stuff around the room. Little kid's going to get scared. They're going to throw the covers over their head. They're going to shake. But then the door blasts open. You see this elongated shadow creature. And then beyond that, you're going to see the bone claw. So you have, for a kid, you have the shadowy creature, you have the boggle, and you have the bone claw. Those are three creatures that we did tonight. That's flipping awesome. I love it. Those of you watching on Rumble, thank you for watching. Thank you. I'm going to continue. One more creature. Let's go. I'm excited. Let me go here. Let me go in the monster manual. Let's do something cool. Let's do stuff that we know. What about the hobgoblin? The hobgoblin. Huh? Nah. Let's do No, we're not going to do that. Let's do... Looking through the monster manual. I know. Boring part. Yeah, monster manual have all these creatures, and I don't know which one to pick. Alright. So I'm going to pick one random. I'm going to close my eyes. And... Oh no! I picked a horrible one. Okay, another fey creature. Alright. Another fey creature called the Red Cap. Folks, those of you, a Red Cap is a homicidal fey creature born of bloodlust. Red Caps, although small, have formidable strength, which they use to hunt and kill without hesitation or regret. In the Feywild, or where the plane touches the material world and a Fey crossing, again, the Feywild, it could be an attic, material plane, stuff like that. We're going to go flash forward here into, we already know the material plane. Red Caps lack, they're not subtle. They live in direct confrontation and the mayhem of mortal combat. Even if a Red Cap wanted to be stealthy, the creature's iron boots force them to take ponderous, thunderous steps. When a Red Cap is near potential prey and they're close to their prey, they quickly get vicious. Swing their weapons before the target can react. So you know this dude is very, very dangerous. But he's short, he has a sickle, and he has like this red hood that drapes down, and the sickle is massive, and he's walking, and he kind of talks like this. he talks like this. He doesn't have to talk like this, but he can talk like this. So he kind of walks over and he has this bushy mustache, long, and then and he has beard, but it's kind of the beard is long, gray. He has his teeth are horrible. Probably has massive bad breath or horrible breath. And he's got these bushy gray eyebrows. Kind of looks like a Santa elf, but evil. And he's got these massive iron boots, leather pants, and he's got these claws that are curled. He holds a sickle. And he's strong. He has an 18 strength. This little guy can take you out. A red cap has iron-bound pursuit. The red cap moves up to its speed, so he's fast. His speed is 25. That is pretty fast. Challenge rated 3, 700 XP. These are for lower level folks for D&D. And let me tell you, that is fantastic. So if you have a little guy that talks like this, and he has a sickle, and he's iron boots, he runs really fast, he's going to kick your ass, because that's what he does. He is a red cap. Red caps. You can use a red cap. So imagine this scenario. He's strong, he wields heavy weapons, which does not impose disadvantage on their attack. So he doesn't have to have a sickle, he can have like a massive sword. It's called a wicked sickle. Really? A +6 to hit. So yeah, he's pretty devious. So now you have this, let's go back to this little scenario that I did. So you have this little kid in bed, little boy, has his covers over it. He peeks, and what does he see? He sees this massive Nightwalker. And then a bone claw starts to, you can hear the cracking of bone, his elongated arm, and he starts to walk over to the bed. And then underneath, he looks under the bed because he's trying to hide, and he sees his boggle. But he can't hide there. So as he creeps and starts to put the blanket over his head, he looks to his left and he sees a red cap with a sickle. So you have all these creatures in this little area. It was by coincidence that a bone claw, a Night's Walker, a red cap, and a boggle all came into one location. But anyways, I'm just being funny. But you have these creatures in your campaign. What do? You're going to have a story in the Feywild. Let's say there's a party, and the party went into the Feywild. They escaped, right? They saw a portal, maybe a doorway, a tree, or a barn. And what do they see? They come out, everything's fine, so they thought. The portal stayed open, and these creatures came out. You could do it that way. All right, Tim is asking, do I prefer fantasy, sci-fi, horror, gothic RPG when it comes to storytelling as a GM? Wow. That's great. My favorite overall out of everything is gothic horror. Gothic horror. We're doing Vampire, The Dark Ages tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central, by the way. So That's my favorite. My second is fantasy. Gothic horror, fantasy, and my third would be sci-fi. Um, those are the three genres I love. Storytelling can be anything. You could have all these books, and you can create your own story. And you can read fantasy novels, you can read sci-fi, and then come up with your own ideas and bring them to your campaign, one-shots, or even if you want to write a book, do it. You prefer to do that, which is great. Now, what makes it so interesting? What brings your players back to the table, people watching, is a story. What I love about role-playing, if you're doing Gothic horror, sci-fi, fantasy, whatever you're doing, what I love is this, is the dice. No matter how you write your story, the dice has the final say. Because at that moment, the player says, I want to make a decision. And the dice will make that outcome. Let's say the decision, let's go back to the heroes. They decided to flee. They don't want to fight the Night Walker. They want to run. They want to flee. They want to leave. They're afraid of this thing. They don't want to fight it. And there's nothing wrong with running away. So they flee. They make a decision. And that decision may cost them. Maybe they went to a different town. They heard of a vile creature slaughtering a town not so far where they came from. They didn't know there was a town there, but they're heroes. They said they didn't want to get into a fight. They said, you know what? We're going to leave. I'm not going to get into a fight. I want to leave because this creature is too devastating. And there's nothing wrong with it. But they left. There was a town nearby. They didn't know. And this Night Walker, not Stalker, here, decided to destroy the town. Because the hag summoned it. It pissed off somebody. She was actually after a party member in the story. A party member. But what happened? What happened? The hag summoned the creature and said, oh, you're going to flee? You're going to run? No, there's going to be consequences. There's a town nearby, and this creature, this Night Walker, is going to destroy the town. And guess what? You're going to pay for all your transgressions. You're going to pay for everything you've done. So now the Night Walker slaughtered the town. It's your fault. So when the heroes find out about that, all they wanted to do is, hey, survive. And they did. But at what cost? You have a paladin. The paladin said, we got to go back. We got to somehow find this creature, this night hag. But one of the party members is a ranger. They said before, the ranger has a dark past, a dark secret. That secret is he made a deal with a hag that he didn't beat, broke the deal. So they didn't really tell the party. When they find out about it, the story opens. And alas, here's your one shot, here's your story. And of course, when you write a story like this, you can go ahead and flesh out your characters in and out, your descriptions, where you want the story to be. It can be a swamp, it can be in a city or a town, it can be in a forest, however you want to do it. But the one thing that makes Dungeons and Dragons freaking cool is the fact that you have all this content that you could extract from and use it in your game. Creature-wise. Let's say you can't think of a creature. You could write an elaborate story and you have everything. But you cannot think of a creature in your game. So you have the monster manual. You can look and say, oh, this will match my story. Or if you're playing a game that's campaign, you're playing XP instead of the other way, which is basically no experience except your checkpoints. What does that tell you? It tells you two things. It tells you that here. What I love about, as I was saying, sorry, lost my train of thought, and that happens sometimes. So, what I'm trying to say is this. Whether you play your game, which is sci-fi, horror, whatever you prefer, make sure that you have a story. You have all this content you can extract from. You can say, oh, well, you know, I can't really come up with an idea, but I have, you know, a cyberpunk game, type of game, you know, something like that. You can really flesh out your story by bringing out these things. Now, before I let everyone go, I'd like to say a big thank you to Tim Matthews, being a subscriber on Patreon and on multiple platforms. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Like him, all the other subscribers as well. Thank you. And as you guys come along, let me know what you think in the chat, and we'll discuss things and we'll go from there. Let me know what you think of the show. Let me know what you think of the campaign tomorrow. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central, we're going to play. What? I was going to say Dungeons and Dragons. No, we're not. We're going to play Vampire: The Dark Ages, which is vampires in a medieval type world, my world, of the Minulus. They are in a city called Golan, and they've been there for, it'll be 16 episodes. 15 episodes. So that being said, that's pretty freaking cool. So I love it. I'll see you guys tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central. And thank you for watching, Tim. Thank you for, again, subscribing. And, you know, get the word out for Playerole. You know, we're growing. And the more people we have, the more content we're going to have out there. And each season, I talked it over with my guys, and each season we're going to do a different story arc, obviously a different game. That's what I want to do in the world of the Minulus. Again, let me know what you think. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it.